Welcome to PasoAPaso, Immigration Help with Steve Miller.
Welcome to Step by Step Immigration Help with Steve Miller. Steve is the founding attorney of Affordable Immigration, an Oregon-based law firm helping immigrant families across the U.S. and Latin America. For over 15 years, Steve has focused on keeping families together by guiding clients through visas, green cards, and waivers with honesty, affordability, and compassion. I'm Heidi Mack, and today we'll learn why Steve started this mission and what families need to know about petitioning for spouses, children, and parents. This is episode 1, Reuniting Families, how Steve Miller helps with family-based immigration. Thank you for joining us, Steve. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm doing great, and it's a pleasure to be here and share what we do for people.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much. Steve, let's start with your story. What led you to immigration law and to founding Affordable Immigration?
Well, my journey into immigration law was deeply personal and a result of my faith in God, where God says throughout the Bible that we shall welcome strangers. And Jesus himself was a refugee fleeing the wrath of King Herod there in Egypt. So he understands what it's like to be a stranger or an immigrant. So we try to implement that same care and compassion into our services where we provide service to inform people of their possibilities and then help them achieve those possibilities in a respectful, number one, respectful and an affordable manner. So we're here to help families and ensure the families can stay together and thrive. And we've done this for 16 years now, and we've helped thousands of families so far.
Wonderful, wonderful. Your firm's name and your mission both reflect a real commitment to affordability and faith. Can you talk about how that shapes the way you work with families?
Yeah, I think our pricing is very reasonable, and I tell people ahead of time how much it's going to cost. And of course, at Affordable Immigration, our commitment to affordability means that we're going to strive to provide fair and reasonable pricing. So I don't want to take away all the money a family has just to help attorneys. So, and we understand behind every case, there's a family seeking unity and security, and they want to feel good about themselves being here in the United States. And that's what we help them do in an affordable manner.
Wonderful. So the families, who are these families that you serve most often? Like what type of cases are you seeing right now?
Yeah, we predominantly serve families where a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident is seeking to reunite with a spouse, a child, or a parent. Currently, we handle a large number of family-based petitions, including spousal visas, fiancé visas, and applications for children and parents. And we've seen an uptick on the number of people applying for adjustment of status based on the way based on the atmosphere in the immigration world today, or in the immigration United States. And I also have a passion for helping women who've been victims of violence through the Violence Against Women Act. So we have a large number of nonprofits we work with to help the women get their relief under immigration law.
I heard you say, the family-based petition for someone starting their immigration journey. Who qualifies to file that one?
Well, it's usually a U.S. citizen or lawful permanent resident who sponsors a qualifying family member for immigration into the United States. Now, U.S. citizens can petition for their spouses, their children, their parents, and their siblings. Now, green card holders are a little bit more limited in that they can only petition for spouses and unmarried children. And the process involves first the filing of the Form I-130, which establishes the qualifying family relationship. That's also known as the petition.
For the rules for the U.S. citizens versus the green card holders, what are the rules when petitioning for the relative?
Well, U.S. citizens have a broader range of family members they can sponsor, including spouses, children, parents, siblings, and fiancés. The green card holders are limited to sponsoring spouses and unmarried children. And additionally, immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, such as spouses, unmarried children under 21, and parents, are not subject to the annual visa caps, which can result in a shorter processing time. And in contrast, all categories sponsored by green card holders are subject to annual numerical limits, leading to longer wait times. In some cases, the wait times are over 20 years.
Wow. So because you're saying all these different years, could you walk us through the different processes depending on whether the family member is a spouse, child, or parent, if that, counts towards that.
So the process begins with a U.S. citizen or green card holder filing Form I-130 to establish a qualifying relationship. Once the petition is approved, visas are typically available without a waiting period for immediate relatives of U.S. citizens, allowing for a more straightforward path to obtaining a green card. For other family categories, such as siblings or married children of U.S. citizens, and all categories sponsored by green card holders, their annual visa limits, which result in a longer wait time.
What happens if the person being petitioned is in another country? How does that change the process?
Well, actually, right now, it doesn't change it that much.
Mm,
It's actually sometimes helpful because the person in the other country hasn't violated any of our immigration laws. So sometimes
okay.
that is easier. So if the beneficiary is outside the United States, the process involves consular processing, where they will process at the consulate in their home country. And after the petition is approved, the case goes to the National Visa Center, which coordinates with the U.S. Embassy or consulate in the beneficiary's country. And the
Mm,
beneficiary is required to attend an interview at the consulate and provide necessary documents and undergo medical exams. Once they're approved, they receive an immigrant visa to enter the United States as a lawful permanent resident. Great
mm.
news.
Yes, yes.
We see that
I
happen a lot.
oh, lovely.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
it's always that's always a high point of our day when we hear of one of our clients getting their green
yes.
card.
No, yeah, no, I have many friends and loved ones, and my mother was an immigrant herself. So hearing what you do, it's incredible. I like learning about this process as well. And in that process, to get that good news, because we always hope that there's that good news, are there common mistakes or misunderstandings families should avoid when petitioning for a loved one, so they don't miss out on the good news?
Yes, and especially today, in the current immigration atmosphere we have in the United States, you want to be very careful about how you actually present your case, because the Trump administration has informed us that if someone's application is denied because it might be incomplete or they don't meet the financial documentation rules, or there's an issue of misrepresentation, they will then be sent into deportation proceedings. So it's very
Mm,
serious, and I would recommend that people consult with an immigration lawyer. Don't just have a notary public or a friend fill out your
mhm,
paperwork for you, because it could and result in you ending up in deportation proceedings, which are very expensive, and
mm,
sometimes there's not real great possibilities for relief. So I encourage people, when they're choosing an attorney, number one, they would go look on Google and check the attorney's Google reviews to make sure they
mhm,
have good reviews, and then make sure they're licensed in the state where you're living. And then you want to make sure they have an office. This is what I tell people: make sure they have an office. Don't meet anybody in a coffee shop, and make sure they have staff, because the sign of a good attorney is going to be they have staff working on their cases with them. They're not some type of a
mhm.
lone ranger. And make sure you're comfortable with the attorney, that you have a good vibe. So those are things I think are pretty important.
Oh yeah, that's what is that what all the young ones are about? Vibes? I think that's so you see, you
Yeah,
got
I guess
the
they are. I'm learning from them.
yeah, see, it's
Yeah,
keep
I
up with the
learned.
Joneses. That's probably too old for the younger generation. But that was going to be one of my other questions here. I mean, you were already, speaking on it, that you were already basically giving advice. So is that the advice you would give for someone listening to reunite with their family? Speak with the lawyer that you're comfortable with.
I think first you have to gather your relevant information about your family relationship and immigration status. Also check if you have any incidents with law enforcement. We need to get reports on that. We need to find out, is there anything that could be a problem down the road? So consulting with an experienced immigration lawyer can provide clarity on your options and the best course of action. So you got to remember that these cases are very complex. So you need the right guidance and the preparation so that you can reunite with your loved one.
That's wonderful. I mean, I can see your passion. Do you do all of this all the time, or do you do other things in your spare time? Because I see the passion that you have for helping people.
No, I spend time hiking with my family, and I also write songs and I sing. In fact, I spend my Tuesday evenings in the Oregon prison system where
Wow.
I'm mentoring soon to be released inmates to help them have a clear, positive, productive thinking so they can re-enter society and become a well-functioning member of society. And I have there's a lot of good people there they've learned their mistakes and they want to be productive again. So I like going to prison and being with these inmates that are trying to make a difference in their lives.
I love that. I mean, if you took that out of context, you're like, I like being in prison. I mean, you're a lawyer, you do the good things, not the bad things. Just everyone remember that. That's so lovely.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for joining us for our first episode of Step by Step. If you're thinking about filing a petition for a spouse, child, or parent, Affordable Immigration offers free consultations to help you get clear on your options. Visit immigratnw.com or call 971 308 5892 to get started. And don't forget to like, follow, and share the show with someone who needs it the most. We look forward to your next episode, Steve, along with your Spanish episodes as well.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.